preparing to live stream the webinar.
Wah, wah, wah.
It's halfway there. I was getting started with this cup of coffee, and then I thought, like, oh, nerdy. And now I don't know if I put it down or I keep holding it. I'm not really sure. I have to put it down for just a second at least. But it was kind of like, I felt like Mr. Rogers, you know, like when he comes in and he puts on his sweater and changes his shoes. We've been watching a lot of that lately.
Oh,
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I actually complained the other day because we were watching Daniel Tiger, and I switched it to Mr. Rogers, and they were like, "It's in black and white." They were not thrilled.
Like, yes. In black and white?
Like the first maybe 2 seasons, definitely the first season, maybe the second. I'm not quite sure. Hey, everybody's jumping on. This is great. Did you guys used to watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? Or maybe more specifically, tell us what you liked about Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and tell us if you never saw Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. I don't know how that would be possible, but I'm super interested in.
Yes, if so, your poor childhood.
I know. It's kind of a critical, not like a rite of passage, but just one of those things that you're like, everyone must know Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, like every child.
He was all of our neighbor. All of ours neighbor. All of our neighbors?
Our neighbors.
But he wasn't our neighbors, right? He was all of our neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I am so excited because, again, it is a Monday and we're bringing you Every Day I'm Ōiling. And if you haven't been to a Monday night before, then I want to introduce you to how we do things here. This is our Better Together Life channel, but we're invading this space with our Better Together team with doTERRA. And tonight, my friend Stephanie is on. And I have to tell you a little bit about Stephanie because she's a person that you wish was your neighbor. Stephanie is the kind of person that remembers your birthday. She's the kind of person who knows when she hasn't heard from you in a couple days that something's probably going on, and she'll likely drop by with either chocolate or coffee or sometimes both, or just a gift on your door to remind you of someone caring for you. And I think Stephanie's an amazing carer. It goes really well with her job. She, as a professional, when she's not talking about essential oils, she works in corporate America and she runs teams and cares for them really, really well. And she is up for literally any task or project. I know her boss personally, and I know his desperation to keep her happy and on his team because of how well she makes things run. And it goes right back to how well she takes care of people and how happy they are to be on her team and following her lead. And I think Stephanie's an amazing person. She is one of our favorite people from Katy, Texas, because we always have a memory of an oil event where Stephanie was there, or like a community thing that she just showed up to. Maybe it was full of moms and she doesn't have kids and she brings donuts and everyone is in love with Stephanie. So welcome tonight, Stephanie. Thank you for being here. I know your topic is oils and animals. And then as we got talking, we kind of jazzed it up with even more animals. Yeah. So I feel like we're sort of a virtual Noah's Ark tonight in all of the things that we have to share about oils and animals. So before we kick off, let's say hi to people who've jumped on and then give them instruction in case it's your first time on. So we've got, yay, Drew Botterf's on. I love how you guys are like, you must have an alarm set on your phone, Botterfs, because you are always the first one to comment, and it really fills my heart with joy. My voice is a little tired. I sang 3 church services this last weekend, and I haven't done even one church service in exactly a year. So I'm using the On Guard drops and just making it through tonight, but I am drinking coffee, and that's just going to be my own problem. Yay. And there are many ways to say I love you. Botterfs, you're so right. That's awesome. Tossing one shoe to the other hand. I completely agree with you, Drew. That is an amazing thing about Mr. Rogers. Jason Chappell said Mr. Rogers was amazing. I completely agree with you. And you can watch it. This is not a plug, but Amazon Prime. Y'all can watch this on Amazon Prime. All right.
Benefits of Amazon.
Huh? What isn't on Amazon?
Yeah.
That's so true. Tara's here saying hi. Oh, Tara, I'm so glad you said hey. I know you work on Monday night, so it's really cool when we get to see you. That's great. Mandy Novo. Hey, girl. Hey, Rocka Blades. You're on here too. All right, guys, I am super excited. Hey, Jeffrey White, good to see you here. Thanks for chatting. Bo just dropped in the comments the Better Together Life giveaway, and I don't have my oil with me right now because Finley is actually sleeping. But tonight's freebie is a free bottle of lime. So just imagine this lime oil is right here. And if we have another person, or if we have a total of 50 people on tonight, then we're also going to give away a free bottle of lemon. So citrus all around, because if you're not adding this to your sparkle water this summer or your summer cocktails, you are seriously missing out. Like, I feel like lime goes with absolutely every drink we have ever mixed, right, Steph?
Yeah, and it is almost Cinco de Mayo. So, I mean, it.
Cinco Mayo, Cinco Mayo. Do people care about that if they're not in Texas? Do you guys care about that if you're not here?
If not, you need to come to Texas so we can fully indoctrinate you here.
Casey just jumped on and she loves lemon. Casey, tell your friends, because if we get 50 people on tonight, then we are going to give away a free bottle of lemon. Right now we've got lime in the works, so let us know if you are here by clicking on that Better Together Life link, and that's going to get you entered in to win a free bottle of wine. Normally I would show it to you, but remember, we have 6 people living in a small house, and one of them lives in the same closet that the oils live in. Stephanie! Thank you, Steph. That's perfect.
Now we just have to get the dogs calm again.
All right, Michelle. Hey, Michelle. Glad you guys are all on at the top of this because then I actually get to say hey to you. So we just mentioned that our topic is on oils. I gushed over my friend Stephanie, who's joining with us tonight and presenting on this topic. How many times now? Is this like your 3rd time presenting oils and animals?
It's like for like an official presentation, it's like my 2nd time, but and I did a make and take, so I mean maybe 3. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like your 3rd at least. Yes.
It just kind of comes.
Hey guys, glad you popped in. That's awesome. So Stephanie's going to present on oils and animals, but just like every other event that we have, we don't want to tell you about a bunch of stuff that you don't care about. So take some time in the comments and let us know about which oil or which animal or which animal and that oil is important to you to learn about, because we need to know what you guys really want to know. So something brought you here tonight. It probably wasn't just to type into a screen, but likely to get answers. So the last thing we want you to do is either have oils already and let them sit on your shelf, and instead, let's find some real solutions for you. So if you haven't gotten your oils yet and you want to join our team, then the same way that we're going to get in touch with you about joining our team or getting essential oils into your house is through that same link that Bo posted already. So bettertogetherlife.com/giveaway. You can also email us at Gmail, and our email address is bettertogetherlife@gmail.com. And quite frankly, if you guys are asking about oils and animals, I really want you guys to get connected to Stephanie. So she's one of our teammates, someone we know and love, and got started with oils, thankfully, through one of our friends who just connected us, and now we get to be lifelong friends. And we want to make sure that you connect with Stephanie tonight, because she can teach you on anything, but especially this was the topic she was most passionate about, and I think it's going to be one that makes so much sense to a lot of you who are homesteading or pre-homesteading or just love pets. So Steph, will you kick us off? I know you've got some really great things to share with us, and I don't want to waste another minute.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to actually share my screen. Let's see how this goes. I think it'll go great.
Got it, girl.
All right. Can you guys see the slides?
Yep. I got
it. Okay, cool.
Emojis if you see the slides.
So I'll go ahead and do a quick intro. So I have 2 pups, and I've also got a couple recent chickens that we just inherit, or we didn't inherit, but we just purchased some chickens at an auction, an FFA auction. And so we have Tiny and Jewel in the corner there, and there are Julie Orpingtons. They're huge. They are nothing but tiny. They're
beautiful.
Oh my God, they're gorgeous. I fell in love with them when I saw them at the auction. And I told Willie, I was like, I have to have those chickens. Well, I just said that, like, I have to have those chickens. I want those chickens. I love those chickens. And he took it quite literal.
Literally.
And he was sitting behind me, and I kept noticing that somebody kept bidding behind me. And I was like, man, those chickens. And I just kept talking about them and looking at the chickens. And next thing I know, I just looked at him and I go, oh my God, did you just bid on those chickens? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I think we're taking those chickens home because nobody else is going to pay that much for those chickens.
Did you do FFA when you were in high school?
No. I mean, FFA has run through my family, but at the school that I went to at the time, they didn't have an FFA program. They do now, but they didn't then. And so FFA ran through my family, but I wasn't personally involved. But the school that we went to benefit, no intentions of bringing the chickens home that day. Had to actually talk to a friend and be like, hey, is there any way that you can keep these chickens for me for the next week while I build a coop?
Prepare a home for them.
Yeah, it doesn't work well in the neighborhood because it's not only a hen, but a rooster as well. So I have a hen and a rooster. So Tiny is the rooster, and he is very vocal. So that does not work well in the neighborhood. So but we have rehomed them with family until we move and are able to put them on the land that we are working on. And so until then, they will stay with Willie's brother. So
they're so gorgeous. I wonder if anybody else has a chicken story that started that way. So let us know if you have a funny way that you came about chickens, because you know that we have chickens. I wonder if we can even see this photo, but we now are the proud owners of, guess how many chickens? I don't even know if I've told you how many.
I don't know, but I have 24 fertilized eggs that I just received today from my mom. A friend of hers gave her some eggs, and she was like, you might need to crack them in a separate bowl because they might be fertile. And I go, wait, if they're fertile, why are we not incubating these? And why are we not like hatching these chickens? And my mom's not all into that. And
I feel like you are the crazy chicken lady. Like, why would we
have no way to keep these eggs? I'm like, or these, I have a way to keep the eggs because the eggs just stay in the carton for the moment. But I have no way to keep these chickens right now. And so she was like, Stephanie, you can. And I was like, it's okay. Kelly has an incubator. She can incubate some.
I do. I was just thinking, like, I'm going to see you on Thursday. I can bring you my incubator if you want it.
Or I can just give you the eggs on Thursday and you can take them home and you can let your kids watch them grow.
Incubate again. Okay, so this is the image of 17 chickens.
That's awesome.
And that is our crazy chicken story, that we got 24, only 20 of them, 22 fit in our incubator. Yeah. And now we have chickens. So you got yours through an auction. I got mine through chicken butt fruit, is what my friend Lindsay Kramer over at 5 Chicks and a Farmer. She's not really like a personal friend, so if you follow her, don't be like, oh my gosh, you know her. No, like, I just love her Instagram. But she calls it butt fruit, which I think is hilarious.
Okay, so I'll have to send you, there's not to be totally off subject, and then I promise I'll talk to you guys about oils.
We're chatting.
Oils and animals. But I did join this Facebook group, Backyard Chickens. And once again, not a plug. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite Facebook groups because it is hilarious, the stuff people post in there. And if I ever just need a break, like a mental break,
you go watch Backyard Chickens.
All right,
you go have your backyard chickens. Don't sweat it. We are totally going to talk about oils for chickens tonight.
Yeah.
Starting with these 2 lovely birds.
Yes. So my disclaimer is I'm not a vet. I have personal experience with oils, mostly with dogs, personal, experience with them. And I'm hoping that they are going to remain calm. We've got good calming oils diffused right now because I have one at my feet and one in my lap. It's the best place to keep them calm at the moment. Otherwise, they will just lose it. So we're going to hope that we can make it through this.
They love you.
Oh, all the things. So, but there's 3. So just to dive right in, and Kelly, if there's questions or anything like that, feel free to help me, because I'm not going to check the comments and stuff. So, but if there's questions, feel free to stop.
I'm on it.
Awesome. So you guys have heard Kelly and all the others talk about different ways to use your oils. You can use them topically, which means you're applying it directly. You can use it aromatically, which is like in a diffuser, or your personal diffuser where you're like cupping over your hands. And you can also use them internally. Same applies for animals. Specifically, let's talk about dogs and cats a little bit, because they tend to be a little bit more of kind of a broader spectrum of people can apply to these things. And then we'll interject some horses and different chickens and different things like that. So we'll interject some other, maybe a little bit more wildlife, if you will, so to speak. So,
like different, unusual, not dog and cat pets.
Yes.
Yeah. And let us know if you guys have a specific animal that you want to know about, because that'll help us fuel this conversation.
Yes. So let's dive into topical, because that's probably the most common way that you guys are going to use oils for your pets. And one thing that we want to keep in mind, and as I did research and stuff like that, I started realizing that a lot of the oils that we use for us as humans are the same oils that we can use for dogs. Like, I feel like people get really almost concerned, like, I don't know how to do oils in pets because it's going to be, there's something different about it, or there's something that's scary about it. But as I looked at it, the basic oils that we use for our care and to help with our needs are the same things that we're going to use for our pets, with a few little exceptions and things like that. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And so one thing that we know about animals is that, especially dogs, is that they have a very, very heightened sense of smell. So their olfactory glands are very heightened compared to ours as humans. So in knowing that, we're going to dilute, and we're also going to use less. We talk all the time. I know Kelly is like, if there's probably anybody I know that I ever hear do different classes and lectures and stuff about oils, Kelly is an advocate for diluting. She's always like, dilute your oils, dilute your oils, dilute your oils. And that definitely applies for pets. And we do that for a couple different reasons. One, it helps you be able to spread it over a larger surface area, like Kelly talks about. But also, because our animals have that heightened sense of smell, we don't want to use 5 drops of lavender for that. We want to be able to use 1 drop of lavender and a squirt of coconut oil and be able to apply that over them and over the affected areas and stuff like that. So with topical application, we always want to dilute, especially with those warmer oils that you hear us talk about when we refer to an oil as hot or something like that. The warmer oils, On Guard, cinnamon, clove, things like that. Those are going to be warm to the touch. And so if it's warm to the touch, we want to make sure that we're diluting it to avoid any kind of sensitivity or anything like that. And then you're going to apply it directly to the spine. That's typically where I apply on my dogs. And I do it in a way that I apply oil, like I drop it in my hands, rub my hands together, and just kind of rub my hands through their back, just like you would if you were like petting them, because it doesn't freak them out. And most of the time, these are my 2 dogs, by the way. I have a lab and a Chiweenie, like Mutt and Jeff, like 2 totally different animals here, but best friends. The Chiweenie runs the house. That's Cheeky's, the little one. And Jackson is probably one of the sweetest dogs you'll ever meet. And he just lets her run the house and just.
I love it.
So they are always together. They are never apart. God forbid you separate them and you think that like literally someone is dying the way that they cry.
Miss each other.
Oh, it's crazy. And so, and now of course they're having a party on my lap. So this will be fun. But so
here you are.
Yeah, here he is. Say hi, Chickies. So if I was to do oils on her, I would just apply it directly down her back, just like as if I was kind of petting her. giving her a massage, what typically ends up happening is they like it. And so then they flip over and, you know, want their belly rubbed. And that's great. You can apply it to their belly, to the bottoms of their feet, like their paws and everything like that. And just kind of rub it in. And that's what I do. Like I just kind of rub it in like that for them. In addition to that, you can do what's called ear tipping. And so what that would look like here, since I have her, I might as well just use her as my demo. So ear tipping would just be, you're just going to rub it on the tips of their ears. And so you're just going to rub right on over, like rub it right on their ears. So that's ear tipping. You're just going to pull it right into their ears and everything like that. Just like as humans, we're not going to use it on our eyes, inside of our ears, or up our nose, or in our private areas. Same with the dogs. You're not going to use it in those areas with dogs. And so you're going to want to be sensitive to that. And then one thing that I like to do is add it to my shampoo. So whatever shampoo I'm going to use, which lately I've been just using Castile soap, and I've just been adding the oils to that. I did make up like a homemade concoction of Castile soap and coconut oil. I actually did like the hardened, not the fractionated, but the regular coconut oil. Castile soap regular coconut oil, and then I added oils to it. I did geranium and lavender for their most recent bath whenever I was bathing them, just because they were a little dry. They love to go to the lake with us. They love to run around in the country. And so they had just gotten a little dry and irritated. And so I used that and rubbed that in as their shampoo and rubbed them down with that, and it really helped. So it's a great way to use it topically as well. And then in addition to that, you can use a roller ball or a spray. Mine personally don't care for the spray. The sound, I think, is what weirds them out. And so they don't care for that spray as much, but I just spray it in my hands, rub it in. But they do like the roller ball. But I will tell you, give them their own roller ball. Otherwise, you're going to be sharing.
Right.
So give them their own roller.
With my kids, I'm always all about roller balls. But with my animals, like when I'm using it with rabbits, for sure, that's what I've done it most with. And even with the cat or the dog, the spray honestly is easy. The cat's like a wanderer. And I know you're going to talk cats in a minute. So I'll probably share my Hoover story with you then. But that was one of those things where I was like, man, we just need to get oils on this cat or he might not live, right? Yeah. Or he might die. But I like this spray because I don't have to get super on top of them. Chip would be one of those ones where I'd probably just pet because like you don't want to junk up your roller bottle and you don't want to get all their dirt and fur and everything in it. But some people like that roller bottle of just an easy application down the spine.
The only time I've found the roller ball to be successful in applying it is when I use Digestin on his stomach.
Oh yeah, because it's like more skin.
Yeah. Other than that, it's just no. It's much easier with the spray or just putting it in your hand and rubbing it directly on. So
Steph, the Botter Homestead asked, that's Ashley and Drew. They're new to our team and you're going to love them. But the Botters asked, can you repeat the DIY shampoo that you made with the coconut oil?
Okay.
How do you make that?
So I have to admit, I DIY, not with like measurements.
Yeah, right. You're like amounts.
I DIY like I cook, which is just like dump it in and stir it around and it's good. So I took like this cup, like just a
measure cup.
Just like a glass container. And I just took a couple scoops of regular coconut oil, the hardened coconut oil, regular coconut oil, put that in the bowl. At the time it was warm enough. So it was like a paste. So it was, like it would almost be like lotion consistency. So it was warm enough for that. But if it was hard, you could warm it. So that way it would soften a little bit. So you just want like a softened butter feel. That's what you want your coconut to feel like. And then I just took Castile soap and I just did a squirt of Castile soap and I added a drop of rosemary. I'm sorry, a drop of geranium and a drop of lavender. And I mixed it all together and then off to the bath we went. That's what I used for them.
Just like one drop of each.
Yeah, I just did one drop of each.
Dude, how much do we spend on dog shampoo that's full of crap?
Well, so I if I use like something that's going to be something I purchase at the store, I use Mane and Tail, like the horse shampoo.
Yeah.
But even still, I noticed his skin was just getting dry and things. And I was like, hello, duh, why am I not using this? And so, and he liked it, and it keeps him calm during the bath, because the lab hates a bath. The little one doesn't really get a choice, right? Like I wash her in the sink. She's tiny. She doesn't really get to fuss. But the big one, I end up being soaking wet as I'm giving him a bath. And I usually bathe him outside with like my rain boots on and like, you know, full on.
It's a commitment.
Yeah. But when it's cold outside, that's just cruel. So I bathe him inside, and it's just, everything is soaking wet. But anyways, so that's my easy shampoo that I use for them. And it worked really well, but you could do different oils. And you could do different oils based on what we talk about. So like based on the needs that they have and everything like that, we can do different things. So
yeah, that geranium's a real surprise until you start connecting it with like skin and skincare. And a lot of times, at least in people, when we're dealing with dandruff or dry skin on the head, it's actually a fungus. Yeah. And I didn't know that until I learned that from our pediatrician. And once I did, all of a sudden it made so much sense as to why people are putting Melaleuca in their people shampoo. Yes. So look at that for your dogs is, are we using an essential oil that's going to help with their dry skin by nourishing it? Not Melaleuca in your dog's shampoo, but something like geranium would be a great alternative for that.
Yeah.
Okay, we've had Papa Pepper and Jessie T Vlogs all join us. This is great, guys. And I know there are a lot of you who like to lurk. No sweat. You can lurk away. We do not have a problem with lurkers. But if you want to get in on the giveaway for the lime oil tonight, make sure that you comment and click the link on that Bo's posted. So the bettertogetherlife.com/giveaway link. That way you can be entered to win our freebies tonight. So thank you guys. I love that you're commenting and giving the thumbs up, right? So other people can see this video. But Stephanie's bringing the heat tonight. So I don't want you guys to miss out on all the good stuff. Go for it.
Okay. So the one other thing I would say with topical application, maybe you're trying to choose between a couple oils. And I did this, our lab got really, really, really sick. The first time we've had to take him to the vet, like as like almost like an emergency type situation. He was throwing up, like was coming from all the ends, and he was just not doing well. And I didn't know why. And so after, I think we went to the vet 4 times in 2 weeks, maybe 5. I don't know. Way too much money. I literally like could not believe how much money we were spending on this dog at the vet for them to not be able to find anything wrong with him. And I was like, clearly there is something wrong.
Something's wrong. Yeah.
He's not okay. So finally I was like, why am I not using my oils? Like, why am I not doing the things that I know to do? Because I went into panic mode is what I did. I was like, why?
You said it was because you were nervous about, like, you were confident with the people part of it,
right?
But the pets part of it was kind of uncharted waters for you.
Absolutely. And that's when I really was like, hello, what are we doing? And why am I not doing the things that I know how to do? And so, with that, I started looking and thinking, okay, if he's having these issues, obviously there's something wrong with his gut. So we started doing things to try to repair that, even though we had no idea why. And so at the bottom here, you see this thing called self-selection.
Yeah.
So there may be a couple different options that might work, just like for us as humans, right? Like you could use lavender or petitgrain to feel calm, but you may not like the smell of one over the other. And so with self-selection, what you do is you essentially allow the dogs or the animals to choose. This works really well with horses as well. You allow them to kind of choose and tell you in few words, but essentially just by holding up the oil to their nose and allowing them to smell it. And you'll be able to observe their behavior. And if they lick the bottle or are intrigued by it, that's a yes, that's a positive, right? They're wanting that, they like it, or they kind of like, I mean, you'll be able to tell. My little one, she very quickly tells you when she doesn't like it, because she pretty much hightails it out if she wants nothing to do with it. And then the lab will lick all over me if he wants it. So It's crazy. But
they're communicating. And
yeah.
you do that with the lid on, right? That's what you're telling me, is like you just leave the lid on.
You can take the lid off, but I would give them the cap to sniff.
Yeah.
Instead of the bottle, I would just give them the cap instead of this big bottle. So it's just going to be easier on them and everything like that. So, all right. That would be my last little plug there for topical application.
Yeah, that's smart.
Also use these aromatically. So when we think of aromatic, we think of the diffuser or a spray. I will say, if you guys have not tried this mister, I don't know, have you seen this? It's like, it's
glowing.
It's my favorite, like my favorite accessory.
Yeah, I gotta have it. I love it.
You gotta have one. But as much as my dog hates the little spray bottles, they make a little bit more noise. Mm-hmm. He loves this ongoing mister. It's crazy.
Because it's quieter? What does he like about it?
I don't know. I haven't figured out the reasoning. I just know that it works. And he will literally, as I spray the bed at night, he just lays there. Like, I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. Whereas if I grab this bottle, this one doesn't have anything in it, so this is not a threat to him. But if I grab the one that I use for him sometimes and I shake it up really good, he hears it and he knows Mama's coming after me with that spray bottle, and he runs and hides under the bed.
Not into it.
So I have to get sneaky with it. So, but you can use these aromatically. So in the diffuser, just like what we would do, I typically will use a diffuser in like the area that I keep them in during the day or at night. Even like if we're going to be gone on a night where there's fireworks or loud noises, like 4th of July or something like that, I will run a diffuser in that same room with some lavender or serenity just to try to keep them calm, because the big guy hates loud noises like that, thunder, anything like that.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. Don't you? Like, in fact, you guys in the comments, think about this, because it might not be your animals. I know a lot of you have like working animals, and Stephanie comes from all kinds of like farming, homesteading, ag family. But animals, like pets that are indoor animals especially, we hear so many people with pets that have anxiety, like separation anxiety, or when there's loud storms going on, or a lot of noise and commotion, or you have like 500 kids like us. You may have dogs or cats that are kind of anxious. So think about that as you guys are listening to this. You might be the perfect little message carrier to a friend who needs lavender, right? Or these oils that you're talking about, Steph.
Yeah. And so I'll just run that diffuser in their room. Now, I don't have, one thing you want to keep in mind is like, even if you are using the diffuser, like don't shut them in like a small bathroom with the diffuser. Give them a way to escape. If they want to get out of the room, let them get out, especially cats. They need to be able to free roam with a diffuser if you're going to run a diffuser for them. But in our case, like our room is completely open. It's open to the whole house. And so it's not like I'm pumping it straight into their room to where they can't get out. They have space to move. That room is very open and everything like that. So there's not a stress there for them that they're going to receive too much of that. But you can spray it in the air like the little misters or a spray bottle. I even use it on my dryer balls on the bedding that they have in their kennel. I use the lavender on the dryer balls so that way it helps with dog smell. And
you know how we feel about dryer balls over here.
Yeah. Yes. You and Carrie, I know all the balls.
I know. So. You know how much of a fan we are.
Yes.
Of making balls.
Yes. So I have made balls at Carrie's house before, actually.
Together. It was a joint group activity.
It was. And it was a lot of fun. So, but I spray the area and everything like that. So you can use them aromatically. One thing that works really well for horses is to use them aromatically with like steam and stuff, especially if they have any kind of respiratory issues or anything like that. So you can do steam so that way that can help break up all of that junk that they have going on during season changes. And then just like with humans, if you're pregnant, nursing, or if they're very, very young, so, newborn, or if they have any other kind of medications, same rules, right? So if you have those with your animals, you're going to be very cautious as well, and observe behavior a little bit more cautiously than you would with other animals of different ages and things like that. So just like you would with humans, a lot of the rules still apply. So a lot of the basics there still apply with pets as well. So Kelly, stop me if we have any questions about aromatic. Otherwise, I'll jump to internal.
I think they're more like specific that you're kind of knocking out. You know, some people have questions about oils and horses, oils and chickens. Yeah, keep going. You're doing great stuff.
All right, perfect. So internal use, this is where I am more cautious. So this is where this is not the first thing that I go to. If something's wrong with my pets, this is not the first place that I go. I am a little, definitely more cautious on the internal side. I have mixed it with wet food when he was not well. I mixed it with some wet food that we were giving him at the time. And also mixed it with some chicken broth that we were giving him because we were doing like rice and broth.
Yeah.
And so you want to mix it in. You're not going to drop it directly in their mouth. Like, don't do that. Your dog will not like you. Your cat will probably do something very awful to you later on. Like, they're vengeful. That's one of the many reasons I'm not a cat person. But you can take it with a veggie cap. Like, you can give it to them in a veggie cap. But word to the wise, I have done that with our lab. I did not try it with our little one, but I tried it with our lab. And you want to make sure, especially if they're not eating, they need, just like when you take a pill, that you've got to get it down. So if they're not eating or not drinking, giving them that veggie cap is probably just going to get lodged in their throat. So if they're not eating and drinking, don't try to give them a veggie cap and assume that that's going to go down well. And so I would go first with an aromatic or topical application and use internal only, if that's not working. And then
can you think of reasons they would need to use it internally?
So some people give it to their pets internally for allergies. You say the A word. For allergies,
you're good.
And so that would be a time that you would want to give it to them internally, possibly. I did that for the lab and gave it to him in the capsule. But because he wasn't drinking and eating a whole lot, that capsule came right back out. Like 10 minutes later, he just coughed it right out. And I was like, duh, he didn't get anything down with that. So think of it just like you would, when you're taking pills and stuff like that. If you're not drinking water, that pill's going to get lodged. And it's the same thing with them. So we do want to avoid internal application with cats, though. Cats do have a little bit, I would say, more rules. It's because of the way they metabolize.
Right.
And that's the same with dogs. It's the way they metabolize as to why we want to avoid some of the oils that we use for them. But we don't want to add oils for your cats. You can also do internal, like I've mixed, like if you make homemade treats for your dogs, you can add in like 1 drop of peppermint to help like be like a breath freshener treat. And so you would add that to the whole batch of what you're making, though. A little bit goes a long ways. And so that would be another time that you could do that.
That's like a whole nother chat, is like homemade dog biscuits or homemade pet treats. You can use an essential oil in with it. But to like the end of the bake or the end of the process, because if you're looking for that digestion benefit, you're going to cook out those properties in your oil. So just be wise about that. Dr. Rourke, whose link we're going to tell you at the end of this is really where Stephanie and I just got to sit in on a lecture from her. And she is a veterinarian out of Austin. So we talk about this, and I think it's a good time because, Steph, I remember listening to her, and you are like the ultimate note taker. So I always go to you and I'm like, what did they say? And that was when you're like the internal is so important because it's like a definite no for cats. And then on larger animals, there's a little more leeway, but also not always necessary. And one of the things she said is you can offer it like digestive oils to them in their water. And like, so if you have larger animals, don't put it in a plastic water bucket or trough, put it in a ceramic one. And you would use like maybe a Digesten or copaiba or lemon.
Yeah.
But you're going to offer it to them and they will, again, back to what you just said, self-select. So they might be into it, they might not be into it, but internal doesn't have to be your only option. And in fact, it's one of the latter because it's like the same reason we love oils in kids. I can't get my kid to drink enough peppermint tea to make a difference, but I can just apply some oils topically to their tummy and soothe their stomach. So I think that's a big thing with it. Oh, we've got Stivers Homestead. Hey guys, glad you're on. And I love that you know the botter, so that's awesome. And Lynn Addis, so glad to see you on a live. Creating Essence, an oils expert on here. That's great. Papa Pepper's joined us. Big time on Steam It. Papa Pepper, that is kind of a big deal that you're listening to us while you clean fish. Thanks. That's amazing. And you guys have some really great questions, so keep sticking around because we've talked oils and like small animals right now, but we're still going to keep working through a lot of the benefits of oils for some of your farm animals as well, because we've got a lot of homesteaders on here. That's awesome. Lynn's homestead is working. Man, she's had a lot of progress there over the last couple months.
So if you are a DIYer and you like to make products for your pets, you could, on here, there's the natural toothpaste option. So 1 drop of oil, I recommend like peppermint is what I would recommend, or you could do On Guard, but I would probably increase the baking soda and the coconut oil if you're going to do On Guard.
Right. Or spearmint would be a good one.
Spearmint would be great. Yeah. And so you do 1 drop of oil, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, and then coconut oil to make that paste. And I would just do more if it's going to be a smaller animal, or if it is a stronger oil like peppermint and things like that. And On Guard, those are stronger. So one thing I do want to mention, Kelly, is that especially for dogs, xylitol is very toxic. And so a lot of times we forget about some of the products that doTERRA has with xylitol, and that would be the beadlets that we have. So the peppermint or the On Guard beadlets. Also the toothpaste that doTERRA makes, and then the PB Assist Junior, which the Junior are the ones that are like in the little packets, and it's the ones that are for kids. And so those are what we do not want to give to our pets because they do contain the xylitol. So all right. So I'm going to dive in really quickly just to some benefits of coconut oil specifically for your pets, and then we can go through maybe some individual oil options. If that works?
Perfect.
All right, so coconut oil, obviously we know that this is a great carrier oil for us as humans, but it's also great for your pets. And part of that is that it's going to help with not only with their skin and, you know, the different skin issues and things like that that they may have, but also it's great for their digestion. It's great to help them kind of combat some of those infections and stuff like that that they have. And then in addition to that, it will help just really be able to, you can actually give it to them internally as well. And that's part of the dog treats that I make. It has coconut oil in it and stuff. And so you can give it to them internally to help with their skin and also to help with their digestion and things like that. So there's a lot of benefits. And when I talk about using it internally, it's not the fractionated. It would be your regular coconut oil that you get. I get it at Costco. So
yeah. Giant thing of coconut oil as big as your face.
Coconut oil that you have. So, all right. So I'm going to keep going and you stop me, Kelly, if we've got questions. So
yeah, no, this is great. I think this is what people really want to hear.
Okay, good. So we're going to dive through a few of the oils that I've used for our dogs and some stuff that Dr. Rourke has, like Kelly mentioned, things that she recommends. So frankincense, we all know how much we love frankincense. We always say, you know, when in doubt, use frank. Same applies for your pets. It's very safe to use around your animals. And so frankincense is one that we frequently use here. It's great for cellular health, just like it is for humans. I'm going to let this one down, see if she'll run. And it's also good for their skin. I use this also if kind of the mood needs to, like if I want to do frankincense and lavender or something like that to help promote just a calm around them. And then it's good for just their body in general, just the aches that they have and any kind of nervous tension or anything like that. So with, this is one that, like I said, this is safe to use with pretty much all of your pets and everything like that. And when I say pets, I don't mean like we have a snake as well, but I don't use oils on the snake.
Right.
Fish, but I don't use oils on the fish.
What? You don't use oils on your fish?
Yeah. I mean, maybe when I cook fish, but not my pet fish.
Yeah.
So
they're oily enough already. All those omegas.
Yes. So when I say pets, like general frame of mind, dogs, cats, and then some livestock and stuff like that. Horses love oils. So we could probably do like a whole separate class on horses and oils, because they're really, really good for horses. But that's what kind of a general statement there. So, but frankincense.
Yeah. And, you know, a lot of you have asked, what oil can I use with my animals? Again, Stephanie's caveat has been cats kind of, Chip is currently digging in his crate right now. Cats are sort of you really don't need to use it with cats. You can diffuse it, just give them an opt-in or out of the room. But with every other animal we're talking about, and I mean like chickens, rabbits, we have personal experience with this. Our dog, our cat who was running away, who is like, he's a straight up fighter. I don't know what he does when he's not at our house, but he comes back busted, like straight up busted. So I would say if you've got a cat who's like pushing 9 lives, then when he comes back with a wound, there's no sweat. But this is something that you can use absolutely with your horses, your donkeys, your livestock, guardian dogs, all of these pets that are out and about, and they really are at risk. So even if they're not your in-home pets, these are dogs that get out, or larger animals that get out, and they're just in with rocks and pebbles and things that create problems. Most specifically, dogs that are known for growth in their old age, right? Those boxers that hit around age 8, and you're going into the doctor and they're saying, well, we can treat them with this harmful poison, and you can spend this many thousands of dollars, or you can just try an essential oil. And we have several team members who've shared with us the application of frankincense directly on that area of concern in their dog. Remember, we're going to keep things pretty general when we're talking, so that we can keep it compliant and people can come back to this video and watch it later on the interwebs. But that's super important. So if you were to have a dog with an area of concern, let's say on their paw, or, generally on their spine, sometimes you'll feel those little fatty tumors on your dog, but from what I understand, these are pretty benign. If there's an area of growth that you are concerned in, that cellular health is so critical. So again, sitting with Dr. Rourke, she would say, dilute this with like 20 to 50 drops of carrier oil with 1 drop of essential oil. And then you can put this directly on the area of concern. But for the horses, this is like 4 to 6 drops down the spine. Like this would be the same benefit for cows. This would be the same benefit for your donkeys. So for mood and like kind of calming the tension in an animal, for dealing with a specific area of overgrowth that you're concerned with, you can also, for those larger animals, put this in their feed and just let them self-select. Are they going to take it? Or are they not going to take it? When you have dogs that chew up your grass or they eat their own poop, this is because they've got a gut issue. So Steph's going to even talk about some oils for gut issues. But if your pets are in need of an oil, a lot of times they will self-select that. If your livestock is in need of an oil, they will often self-select that. So when you're asking, let's see, I know the Botters are saying chickens, because I know they run a great little hen house up there. Yes, the Botters are suggesting alternatives to coconut oil would be like an almond oil or a jojoba oil. Let me see if I missed any other. Coconut oil, Stivers Home says, coconut oil is our magic cream for the kids. Oh, I would believe it. I whip mine together with a little bit of beeswax. So like get it in the pellets and melt it down. But that with some really soft kind of luxurious oils, you just whip up a whole butter of it, and it takes like no essential oils to make that work really well. Okay. Rocco Blade says, cats were once worshipped as gods. and they have never forgotten it.
Yeah. Well,
cats are vengeful. I love all these cat haters in here. Steph, these are your people.
These are
cats
my
are so vengeful. We have six of them and one rage peas creating essence. That sounds awful. That sounds awful.
Yeah, and I'm allergic to cats, so like that doesn't help. Like we have a hate relationship, and it's okay. Like we're okay with this.
You're like, you threaten my life, and I want nothing to do with yours. Yeah. That totally makes sense.
And they are vengeful. They know I cannot be around them, and they will just like rub all over me, and I'm like, really?
That's how I feel about raccoons. Like I have a terrifying relationship with raccoons.
Do they like to rub against you?
Here's a little, oh no, like I'm terrified they're going to try and steal my children. I know it's not a legitimate fear, but I have a concern that I had a traumatic episode with the little dogs trapped under my deck and these raccoons like trying to tear it apart. And I had a little baby inside and I was like, this raccoon's going to take my family.
Yeah. So they did not steal your babies, but they will open up your cooler and steal your food. And
that's just rude. It's just rude.
When you're camping, that's not okay because you literally think you've gone crazy because you can't find the food that you know you
food that they stole. This is awesome.
You see them in your cooler and you're like, oh my gosh, there are thieves here and they are four-legged. It's not okay.
Oh,
not totally digress.
Animal kingdom. Okay. Yes. And this is another thing that I was going to suggest, Steph, is if you have a rage peeing cat, if you have, a dog that leaves a mess in your house or rabbits or any kind of animal, what do you recommend as sort of a cleansing spray? And why would we not use like a Febreze or a commercial carpet cleaner?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I personally just use the On Guard cleaner concentrate and I just spray with that. I've tried like making my own to see if I like anything better. I've done different things like rosemary and purify and lemon. Mm-hmm. And I find that the On Guard cleaner works better, if not just as good as anything else that I've tried to make or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I don't use any chemical sprays because the little one that I have, like she will eat anything.
Come back and lick it.
Constantly nose to the ground and licking the floor. And so I am really careful and cautious in what I use on the floors because I don't want to take a chance in her licking all those chemicals and getting them in. So
yeah.
Plus their little feet are always on the floor. Like their bare feet are always on the floor. And so, because I'm not even going to try to get my dogs to wear socks. Let's be real. And so
people do that?
Yes, not me. If any of you do, I'm sorry. God bless you. I am not that brave. Like I'm not that brave with my pets. And so I will just use a natural cleaner instead. So that way I'm not concerned with their feet or my feet. All of our feet can be bare and it'll be safe. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point because our bodies take in toxins through our skin all the time. Our dogs do the same thing. Michelle Harold says her daughter's dog loves Pettigrain in the diffuser. And Michelle's in our 30-day giveaway group. If you guys aren't in that, this is a group only for our team or people who aren't working with someone already. So if you want to be in that Facebook group, we'll put a link in there in the comments in a bit.
Yeah, and guys, Kelly's giving away Copaiba, and we're going to talk about how great Copaiba is for, like, we could probably do an entire presentation on how great Copaiba is, not just for us, but for your pets. So today you could win Copaiba. Just saying.
Hey, and we still have time before the end of the day.
Yeah, we've got a few more hours. So, all right, Kelly, I'm going to move on to digestion.
Yes, you're doing great. I keep interrupting you, but the comments are so good.
No, it's good. It's good. So I just want to keep moving because I don't want to overdo people's time and then them get frustrated. So I'll keep us moving. So Digest Zen, this is the one that this is probably one that we use most often topically on our dogs for things that we're trying to repair, so to speak. And so obviously, just like we use it as humans, we're looking for it for healthy digestion, right? Just like the name of the oil is Digest Zen. But this is really good. So my lab, all of a sudden, we changed food when we were trying to figure out what was going on with him and everything. And that was a whole, you know, when you change dogs' food, you're obviously going to go through a little bit of a period there where they're going to get a little bloated, a little extra gassy, but he was just on a whole nother level of gassy. And so Digestion Zen was not only our Zen and trying to help relieve that, just, you could tell he felt pressure in his stomach and he was bloated, but also just to help with the smell, because God bless, I don't know what was going on in there, but you could tell something wasn't right just by the smell. So it's great to, and I just rub it directly on his stomach, like right in on his belly area. And of course, I haven't met a dog that doesn't like their belly rubbed. And so I just rub it in my hands and rub it directly on his belly. And then I would take whatever was left over on my hands at that point and just kind of massage his feet if he would let me. He's not super keen on his feet being touched, but he's gotten better as we've worked on it. So, but this is also great. So if you travel with your dog and your dog gets real anxious in the car, diffuse Digest Zen, or apply it to them topically. If you've got like a portable diffuser, you know, plug that in your car with Digest Zen and lavender to help, or copaiba to help with that. But also you can use this directly on them to try to help with that anxiousness and that queasy feeling when they're traveling, because some dogs, that's a really big issue for them to kind of find. Mine love to go in the car. But for some, that's a big deal for them to get in the car. They get sick every time. And so you don't want to have that. So another thing is that you can add Terrazyme, and Terrazyme is a digestive enzyme complex, and you can add this. It comes in a capsule. I recommend taking the capsule apart and just sprinkling it on their food. And I don't even do a whole capsule on their food, because also my lab and Chiweenie, they share food. They do everything together. You can't feed them separate. Good luck.
Right.
It doesn't work. So because she's eating the same that he is eating, I try to take everything to how can she eat it. So we do small bites, we do, and I do less of this, but I do add this sometimes to their food, not all the time, but I do add this sometimes to their food. Now, if he dealt with digestive issues on the regular, then I would make this an everyday thing, but he doesn't. And so I just add this whenever I can tell if he's not doing what he normally does outside when he's using the restroom and stuff. If there's any kind of backup or anything like that, then I sprinkle this on, just a little bit of this on, probably about anywhere from a third to half a capsule with his food. I would sprinkle it right on. And he has not had any issues in eating it. Like, I didn't know if the smell or anything would bother him. He doesn't even seem like he can tell that it's on there. So,
well, and it's whole food enzymes. So it's just really great. Like, it smells like food. It doesn't smell like medicine. You know, like our dog, we're exploring right now some natural alternatives to flea and tick because we really don't want to give him this pill. And this pill is like, he smells it coming before we even open the box.
Yeah. So, and I'll give you some flea and tick. You want me to do it now or you want me to do it later?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So our dogs, we kind of live in the city-ish, but we go to the country a lot. And so our dogs love to run and they love to go to the lake. And so we don't do the flea collars. We don't do the pills either. But what we will do, especially if I know we're going to be gone and they're going to be running a lot, is I'll take their collar, like their ours have like a fabric collar. And I'll take their collar and I will just make like a glass bowl with water and then a few different oils, and I just soak their collar in it and let that get like really saturated, and then I'll let it dry and stick it on them. So like I would do that at night and then let it dry overnight, so that way they would have it for the next day when we're going. And I have done same type of like, what do we use for us to keep the pests away? Same for them. So I would do lavender, Terra Shield. I've done lemongrass, and I've done Purify. And I sometimes do them all together. Sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends on honestly what I can find and grab quickly, because DIY should be easy, I think, and shouldn't be complicated. So, and I would just soak that. You can also spray them with, the Terrazyme spray.
Terra Shield.
TerraShield. Yeah, sorry. TerraShield spray.
Yeah.
You could spray like their feet because that's the area that they're going to get it in, like the underside of their bellies a lot.
Right.
And so that way it helps keep away and everything like that. So there's some other like options that you can do with like food and stuff like that that helps. But I just find like those are the quick, easy, we're going to the lake, we need to do something. So let's do this now, because otherwise it requires a little bit more of like a commitment lifestyle with the dog.
It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think that's so true, especially so if you've ever used doTERRA in years past and you haven't tried TerraShield recently, it's reformulated in the last 2 years, and now it includes Arbor Vitae because it's an oil that we acquired an exclusive contract with. And this oil does a lot of different things, kind of like frankincense can, but this is a highly repellent oil for pests. So let's say this is something you wanted to put near your horses that have flies around their faces all the time, right? Or if you want to diffuse this on your front porch while you're sitting around. My dog is like, I'm so ready to go out. Let's see if you can see. It might be too bright. Can you catch a little chippy?
Can I just say that your chippy is getting huge, and I love the fact that y'all have a Rottweiler because I grew up with Rottweilers. So
he's so big and I love him, but it's too dark to see him.
Yeah,
he did really good after his doggy puppy care so far. I mean, it's been like 7 hours. So. Anyhow, so Arbor Vitae is like this really critical enhancement that we had in TerraShield. So do TerraShield, but if you have to have one for like a bug repellent and you don't want to do that blend for any reason, that Arbor Vitae is going to do a world of good for you as a person, you as your pets. And this is like fleas, ticks, mosquitoes for sure. Texas mosquitoes, guys. I'm telling you, Texas mosquitoes. TerraShield is amazing. I will use this any day, all day, and I will have better results than off. And there are not a lot of products that I'm going to be like, oils are better than this other product, but I'm going to tell you the poison in the product of like an off spray or something like that would totally turn me off. And I'd probably try something else. But the effectiveness of TerraShield and an off spray is identical, and I don't have any of the harmful product in it. Yeah. So I highly, highly recommend it. You can use this on dogs. You can use this diluted with carrier oil on dogs under, I think it says dogs over 15 pounds. For dogs under 15 pounds, you can still dilute this a little bit more intensely. For cats, you can diffuse this. And again, the larger animal, horses, cattle, or like your donkeys, your livestock guardians, you can use this directly on what? Alpacas. I could use it on alpacas. Guys, he's warming up to the idea. We just need to find one that doesn't cost us $7,000.
The comments that you wanted $7,000 alpaca.
Well, it's not that I want I want one, and the one we found was this cost. I don't mean to have such high-end taste. I don't know why. I wouldn't go for like a fancy label on something. I'm just saying, creating essence, you're with me, sister. Yes, to the alpacas. Yes. Let's just say this. Look at how much money I'm saving our family by using essential oils that are pennies per drop. Can we not get an alpaca? Can we not?
Get the girl an alpaca already.
All I'm saying. Oh, I'm completely consumed by the thought of alpacas and like the idea of shearing them and seeing all of this alpaca fur, wool, fiber. I don't know what we call it because I don't know yet, but I will learn it. I'm hijacking this. So sorry, guys.
On that note, we're going to go to
get Kelly an alpaca. Jason, I'm going to start putting these on all of my stories. I really like how you're in my corners, people. This is amazing.
I feel like you're going to have an alpaca before the end of the year.
It's in my 5-year plan. And if you guys know me, I'm not the planner. I'm just the go with the flower, and Bo is the planner. I think so I might
be 5-year plan for you.
No, it's mine. I act like this is how deeply I'm passionate about the alpaca. I really think we can make this happen, guys. Keep that hashtag alive. Steph, I'm hijacking everything.
You're good. You're
Got
good.
the On Guard. You're crushing it.
Yeah, so let's talk On Guard. So On Guard is going to be a warmer oil, so we do want to dilute this very well if we use it topically. We also want to dilute it well if you use it topically on yourself. Trust me, I haven't before, and I've regretted it, just in the sense that it will dry your skin out, and it feels very warm. So dilute, and then you don't have that reaction. But this is great for your immune system, great for your dog's immune system. I diffuse this almost constantly, probably between October and about now. I maybe stop late April, early May is when I stop diffusing it almost every day. And so I keep this going for immune support. So that way we will hopefully not catch the crud that's going around.
Right.
And the dog influenza is like on a whole new rise. I'm like, how do dogs?
Is that a thing? Yeah.
But it is. It's a thing. And so, and it's a serious thing. And so I just keep this going. And remember, when you diffuse, they're getting the benefits as well as you. So it's
right. Right. That's so smart. I didn't even, obviously, that makes sense.
Yep. And this is what I use as my cleaner. Now, I don't use just the oil specifically. I use the actual cleaner concentrate.
Right.
But if I didn't have the cleaner concentrate and I had On Guard, then I would use On Guard and vinegar and water and just use that, mix those together in a spray and use those.
Isn't that great how simple that is?
Mm-hmm. It really is. And how easy you can interchange different things with a few basic supplies. So, all right. So that's On Guard, immune boosting, immune support for your pets, but also for you as humans. This is probably one that I use most often with my pets for skin issues. So digestion for all things internally going on with their gut, and then for to help with, because skin issues also usually have some kind of beginnings in the guts. And so to help with the skin, I would use lavender. This is great for their skin, great for their coat and everything like that. In addition to that, it's also very calming. So this is the one that I diffuse in the diffuser during those nights when there's lots of thunder going on, or the skies are lighting up with the beautiful fireworks and everything like that. My big one doesn't like it. And so I know that, and I intentionally use these oils to prevent that. Or if we have a lot of people coming over or something like that, they love people, but at the same time, they kind of get a little worked up as people are ringing that doorbell constantly. And so I'll keep lavender going to help. I do apply this topically to my dogs, in addition to obviously in the diffuser. And then I have used it internally with lemon and peppermint for like an allergy balm type.
Yes, that allergy that you mentioned earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One fun fact is you can actually use the IQ Mega, which is the kids' fish oils, and you can use that with lavender to help with their skin and coat. So you could give this to them internally, and you could use that to help with skin and coat. So just another fun kind of way that you can use your oil.
Like a life hack.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
Morgan Addis has 3 pups at home, and she is excited about essential oils and her dog stuff.
Good.
That's
awesome.
So good.
I can't wait to hear some of the stories you guys using these. So, and I promise it's not as hard as what, I think we way overthink it and make it way more complicated. Obviously use caution and be smart, but use your common sense, just like you would with the way that you would use oils for yourself or for your kids. Like same kind of concepts apply. So, all right, lemon. And so with lemon, similar things as to how we would use it for ourselves, respiratory. Mm-hmm. It's also a great detox. And so I like to use this. I don't think of this as in my diffuser for my dog so much, but I think of this more for cleaning and for digestion. And so that's what I typically think of with them. Whenever I think of lemon and pets, that's what I think of it for. So for us, it's great. It's very energizing and uplifting. And also for them as well, they're going to still get that benefit from that as well. You could use this as your cleaner if you have lemon and you don't have On Guard or the cleaner concentrate, you could use lemon, vinegar, and water as your cleaner spray there. As Kelly was mentioned earlier, you can add 1 drop of lemon to your dog's water. Always remember, anytime we're adding oils to water, we want to always use a glass or stainless container. Same with your pets. I do recommend using a glass bowl or a ceramic bowl or a stainless, like we have a stainless steel bowl. I find that they just stay cleaner and they don't get that funk around that the plastic bowls get. That you can't clean. Like it just doesn't come clean. It's like a rim that just sits there. So that's just kind of a random off the top thing, but you can add 1 drop of lemon and then add that to the water for your pups as well. Or we don't want to do this for the cats. You would want to do this just for your pups. So, all right, Kelly, I'm just gonna keep moving, and you stop me if we.
I got distracted because Chippy was walking around.
That's okay.
Mine that's so good, Steph. Yes, this is exactly what my next question was going to be. So this is perfect. Yeah.
Good.
You guys are going to want to take notes on this one because this is what everybody's going to ask about once they hear you're using oils.
So this is usually when people are like, don't use oils for your pets, is because yes, there are some that we don't want to use, and there's some that we don't want to, it's not going to be our first go-to for oils and pets. And so tea tree oil or melaleuca, however you call it, it is one that is very controversial. I'm not going to lie, before I did a lot of research, I have used this on my pets and they're both okay. And that is not why my dog started getting sick. This was years ago. And they have both made it. I didn't obviously pour a bottle of melaleuca down him, but
right, with caution.
Yeah, he had a skin issue. He had like a wound and didn't know why or how he got it. And so because of that, I used melaleuca, lavender, and frankincense because that's what I would use on me. And that's what I used on him. I don't recommend, now knowing more, I don't recommend going to melaleuca or tea tree oil first. This is one that I would use as a last case resort, like if there's a really big wound issue or something like that. For larger animals, like your livestock, your horses and things like that, melaleuca is going to be fine for them. But for dogs, then it's something that you're going to want to use more caution with. And so it's not something that you're going to want to grab and go for. And I had a friend just recently say, well, I use melaleuca on my dog. And mind you, this friend doesn't use oils frequently, but she has oils. And I was like, that's literally like the one oil out of all the oils that you have that you don't want to use for your dog right now.
Right.
And so, but all that to say, use with caution. If you do use tea tree oil, but don't let this be the first one you grab. Let this be something that would be a major case for your smaller animals. Obviously, horses and things like that, they metabolize totally different, which is why you want to handle those oils that your smaller animals can't. So.
And one of the things I think that you mentioned earlier is we don't have to use tea tree oil. We have these alternatives, right? So a lot of oils are going to do similar things. And if you have an alternative, let's say you were in favor of peppermint, you wanted to use spearmint, that's a more mild oil. So alternatives based on the need that you have for essential oils is going to be is going to be available to you. So if you don't want to use tea tree oil, we can't just say like, oh, use this instead, because they're kind of varied based on the need. But like frankincense can do a lot of the things tea tree oil can do. Geranium can do some things that tea tree oil can do. So you have alternatives. Steph, someone asked about a small dog. Oh, Lisa Gardner says, what's a good oil for a small dog who's coughing all the time? Vets told me to use infant Benadryl.
So I wonder then if they're thinking that it's allergy related. That's what I would think.
I think Dr. Rourke would say everything starts in the gut.
Yeah, that's what I would go with first, is making sure that they've got a good food. I am a big proponent of don't give them just the kibble down, that you can get at the grocery store.
Right.
And I know that kind of stinks. I mean, I don't do the whole raw diet and stuff like that just because we haven't gone there. I have plenty of friends that do it. And there's great research on it and everything like that. I just don't. But I do find a really good dog food for them. And I think that that's really important. And then when our dog was dealing with all of the issues that he was dealing with, which I really just think was severe allergies, after kind of looking at it more and stuff like that, I think it was severe allergies. And one of the things that the vet recommended for him was a probiotic, and they actually did like a liquid spray probiotic that we could put on his food.
Yeah.
Since then, we still use it because I've already paid for it and I got the whole big bottle and I paid enough for that I was like, might as well use it. But in addition to that, now what I do is I actually use oils for him to treat allergies. And so I find that he doesn't, I mean, his eyes were like, when you say droopy eyes, like his eyes looked like they were going to like fall out of the sockets. His eye sockets were so droopy, swollen, red. And you like, oh, it broke your heart to even look at him because you knew he wasn't well. And he doesn't have any of that anymore. And when in treating him and trying to figure out what was going on and stuff like that, as soon as I would see his eyes start to get red underneath, I would grab the spray that I had made for him that was an allergy mix, and I would apply that directly to him. And I would notice that within a few minutes, the eyelids that were so droopy and everything like that had come back up and tightened like they should. And he was having the coughing and the sneezing, and which then resulted in throwing, the vomiting. And it was just this whole bleh of stuff that was going. So I would first start with allergy, like addressing allergies and addressing the gut, and see if those two things would help. And with allergies, if it is a small dog, like I don't know if you guys have seen the little one that keeps coming up and down my lap, but she's less than 2 pounds. Like she's tiny. And so I still use the same oils that I used for him, lemon, lavender, and peppermint, but I just do it differently. I don't give her 3, like I mix them in like a spray bottle like this.
Right.
That's what I have. But I don't give her 5 sprays like I would him. He's 80 pounds. I would give him more. He's also got more area to cover. I give 1 spray. If I did 5 sprays on her, she would be soaking wet. So 1 spray in my hand, rub it in my hands, and then I just rub her belly and rub her back and rub it in. And that has helped tremendously with the coughing, the sneezing, and all the things that are related to that. And then we just got them on a better, like we already had them on a really good food, but we got them on an even better food. So like a grain-free food.
And I think that's something that people are coming around to. A lot of you guys who are viewers get this like Whole Foods movement, this get back to the earth, grow your own food, know your own food kind of thing. Don't forget that for your animals too. A lot of you guys follow our favorite homesteading families who look at how do we use sprouted grains or microgreens for our chickens? How do we grow our own fodder for our rabbits? Oh, Chip's trying to eat a fly. Our rabbits or our chickens, or, like even right now, do you soak your chicken feed for these little babies that we've got? And there are just better ways to aid your animal's digestion. These are options that doTERRA gives. Stephanie and I both order oils every month, right? This is our business. This is what we do for income. But most of our customers aren't making income with doTERRA. They're just ordering. So when they order oils or products for their family or for their pets, this is something that gives them doTERRA cash back. It's a way to order from month to month that you get paid back in doTERRA points that you can use for more free stuff for your family, for your pets, for your animals and your livestock. So while this may seem like, oh, how am I going to spend money on this instead of on something else that I'm already committed to, doTERRA gives you an option. So anybody can get a wholesale membership at 25% off. Think like Costco or Sam's Club. This is someone who does not want to order every single month. They just want to get what they need at really good prices. If you do get that membership, then the option to order month to month is totally flexible. Order what you want, when you want it, even where you want it shipped, and you can quit at any time ordering month to month. They're both things part of the same wholesale membership. So most of the people on our team, like 80% of people just love their oils. Lynn Addis just loves her oil. She loves to order. The Boddard Homestead love to order, and they want to build a business out of this, just like Stephanie. We've got, a bunch of people. Like I know, let's see who else.
Well, and Kelly, just to give you an idea, so like the amount of money that we spent on our dog going to the vet, not to mention the amount of time, like we had to take off so much work to get him to the vet every time, but the amount of money that we spent at the vet was like 10 months equivalent of what I spend on oils, to give you an idea. And I spent that in 2 weeks. And I had everything that I needed here because that's what we use for us. So it's stuff that you're already using for yourself and your family. It's just you're using it now for your pets, and you're using,
they're part of it, right? Even if they're your livestock that you're creating income from, they're that, like, you want to be the best insurance providing program for your employees, right? Your cattle, your sheep, your livestock animals are producing income for you, especially if you want to get into that natural market where you can talk about how you use an alternative to what every commercial venue is using. Oils are going to be a good option for that. Someone asked, on that larger livestock, do you need to dilute? Dr. Rourke would suggest not usually, like on a cow or on a horse, not usually. Michelle Harold, another one of our team members who just loves her oils and doesn't do this as a business. She said, do we have a link every week? So this is the same link. If you guys are on here for your first time, this is the same link every week. You're just going to go to youtube.com/bettertogetherlife. But if you want to enter into Win Lime, which we're going to draw in the next couple of minutes, then we're going to go ahead and click on that link that says bettertogetherlife.com/giveaway. I'll drop it one more time in here. And Steph's got the line. So Steph, I want to open up for questions, but if you had one more oil you could present on, which would it be?
I think it would probably be, Copaiba or Balance. Both of those are great.
Hit the Copaiba. I think people are gonna like be surprised by the versatility of this.
Yeah. So Copaiba, we literally could like do an entire presentation on, just because it's so fantastic. But this one, I was really surprised at all of the benefits that it really is able to give. And so you can see them here. You guys can read cardiovascular, immune, digestive, urinary, respiratory, musculoskeletal, and nervous system. But in addition to that, it's great for their skin. It's great for our skin. It's great for their skin. It's also great for that inflammatory response that we're looking for, similar to frankincense. So similar cellular health and inflammation. And so that would be a great option there. And then it's also really good to help with the nervousness and the anxiousness that you can find. And so it's one that I feel like you can use this in a wide variety of things for them. And you can use this just like we would for us, where, we find out more and more about how versatile Copaiba is for us as humans. For our pets, it's the same thing. And it's one of those oils that I keep stocking just because it carries a big gun without a big price tag.
That's
and
really
so
good way to say it.
It's one that I definitely keep on in hand. So I'm going to put this slide up, Kelly. Hey, while you're going through, these are just the oils to avoid. So that way, if people want to do a screenshot, they can do that. It's nothing that I need to talk through. These are things that just, hey, if they wanted a running list, this is something to avoid. So oils to avoid, with a little love to the cats here. Because for those of you who love your cats.
Although we don't necessarily love them, we can't always
They're
live without
necessary. Them. So when I move out to the country and I have my space, I'm going to have the stray cat, not stray, they'll be the farm cats.
Farm cats.
And they're going to kill all the things like the rodents that I don't want. And so it's necessary. It's a cycle. It's part of the life cycle. But right now I don't need them in my home. So
I'm with you on the cats. Like, I can live with them. I can live without them. Yeah. But once we start having more animals outside, we're going to need some cats to keep those all those little rodents away. So they have a time and they have a place for sure.
Yes. So this is a good one to screenshot for people while you're looking.
So if you're on your computer or if you're on your phone, just take a quick screenshot, because for those of you who love animals or have them and love them and want to keep them well, oils are a good alternative. Like I said, a lot of you guys are already on our team or using oils already. This will help you use them even more effectively. Steph, you've got so much good stuff. Will you hit through a few more of these slides?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I can hit through them too while you talk, so that way people can.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna answer some questions here. So Lisa, did that help at all to talk about that gut health for your sweet little? I think you said he was a Chihuahua. Did you say that? Small dog. Yes, a 9-year-old Chihuahua who has lost his bottom teeth. That totally makes sense. And yeah, you'd want to give him the soft food.
Yeah.
But if it just depends on your investment or your time. You know, a fed dog is better than a dead dog.
Oh, so, when you said it, it went through my brain and I was like, oh, she's going to go there.
I'm going to go there. Like, it's kind of like kids, like you got to feed them something, right? So feed him what he'll eat. And, you know, if he chooses it, like he prefers that food, then you want to give him that food. But then there's some other things that you could add that Terrazyme in there to help with it, digesting the food, absorbing the nutrition that's in the food. You may also be able to add some other healthful benefiting like herbs that you might grow that can really help you take care of your dog. So just supplementing things that help your dog to feel healthy. Now, here's something that I want to suggest is we've been talking a lot about or referring to Dr. Janet Rourke. She's a vet out of Austin, and she presented in Houston to our team a few months ago. It was such a privilege to sit under her. She does online consults for your pets. And maybe they're even like FaceTime. I'm not quite sure. But this is a great way if you're not in the Austin area. Yeah. If you're not in the Austin area, but she sets up these consults over the phone so she can advise you. Here's what I want to say. If you have a local veterinarian, even a large animal vet who doesn't do things like acupuncture or acupressure and is not a holistically minded vet, they're not a bad vet in any ways. But please don't ask them about essential oils unless you're ready to introduce them to essential oils, because your vet is not you're going to be putting your vet in a corner. Like they're not going to know anything about oils. It's like if you go to a pediatrician with your kids or a doctor as an adult, if your doctor's not already utilizing holistic healthcare in their practice, then unless you're going to teach them, they're just going to tell you no. Like when I took my child to the pediatrician and said, we've gone grain-free because it's better. I'm seeing an improvement in his eczema. And she said, oh, but where is he getting his, like, I don't know about that. Where is he getting his carbohydrates? And I was like, from literally every fruit and vegetable we eat. And it was just one of these things where I was like, I'm not setting you up for success because this isn't an area you understand. So when you are choosing a vet, if you have the option of someone who uses an essential oils, then you can chat about this. But if you don't have that option, I highly recommend getting on a schedule of one of these sought after veterinarians who will consult with you over the phone or online. Because the whole reason we're having this presentation is because Stephanie feels so strongly about essential oils as solutions for animals. And if you feel that way too, we want you to get hooked up with Stephanie. If you're not on a team already, if you're not already working with someone, then we want you to work with Stephanie if anything in this presentation has strung together with you. And this is how you do it. You can email us at bettertogetherlife@gmail.com, and then we'll just connect you through email to Stephanie's account. And that way we can kind of filter through your conversations. A lot of you just have questions about oils and you're working with someone else, and that's cool. But we don't want you to flood Stephanie's inbox because she's a busy woman and she has so much that she has to offer that I know she would get lost in emails with you guys. So I'm going to be her admin assistant for this. But if you've been on this, not only will you'll still be a part of our team, which is one of our favorite things to get to do with you guys, but you're going to get the added support of a woman who shows up, does her research, and is willing to go the distance with you, either as a customer or as a builder. So we want you to be on our team's team. We have no desire to take what God's given us through this YouTube channel and keep it to ourselves. We really desire for people to be in the right seats on the bus or be with the right fit. So if oils and animals is something you love, then you want to be on Stephanie's team, and we'll help you get started with that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I haven't answered. Now, speak now or forever hold your peace while Stephanie's going through these last slides. She put up Dr. Janet Rourke's email and contact there, but you have some little DIY recipes that they might want to screenshot too, Steph.
Yeah, so I didn't take, so Dr. Rourke actually came up with like a whole make and take DIY sprays for your pets. I did not post all of her recipes because I did feel like it was probably something like you have to pay for it and probably not something she wants to.
Right, yeah, we didn't want to just give away.
Yeah.
What is it? Why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free?
Yeah, because you could totally
go buy her cow, people.
Yeah, go buy her cow. It's good stuff. But we also do events and things like that here locally, or we go to Austin. Like we have different places where we do events, and we do make and takes. And so that's when you get to take all the, you pay a small fee for making these items that you get to take home with you. And then you get to also benefit from all the recipes and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Kelly, while you guys are getting your drawing together, do you want me to do a quick DIY?
Yes. Would you show us?
Yeah, absolutely. I can do that real quick while you guys get together. So I think I'm going to do the itch spray. So there's lots of different options here, obviously. And the great thing about how they have made these is that like you literally get these labels, these cute little labels. I don't know if you guys can see those. And so you can put these on your bottles so you know what in the world the bottle is. Because if you're like me, you have about 15 rollers that you made when you first started. You did not label them and you have no idea. They're mystery rollers. And you just say, well, it's got to be good for me somewhere. Put it on your feet, right? That's what I always just put it on your feet. It's safe on your feet, pretty much. So, okay, so let's do a quick itch spray while Kelly figures out who's going to be our winner tonight. So you would grab a spray bottle. We want to use glass. So any kind of glass spray bottle. This is a 2-ounce spray bottle here. And you're going to do 5 drops of lavender, 5 drops of Roman chamomile, 5 drops of geranium, and 5 drops of myrrh. These are all great for your skin. So 5 geranium, and you literally just drop them in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then Roman chamomile. And you notice like the dog's not freaking out that's on my lap. Myrrh, this one might take a while, a little bit thicker. We'll see how it's feeling tonight. This might be like our, you can put dropper tops on these if that helps, guys, but you can also just kind of seesaw it back and forth. The air will get in there and get you a drop out.
Yeah, some are just a little bit thicker or more viscous than others.
Yeah, myrrh.
Like that big word I used.
Big word. And then lavender. And you literally just put the 5 drops in there. That one got an extra one, but it's okay. It's lavender. 5 drops in there. And then you're going to top it with aloe vera gel. I'm sorry, aloe vera juice. Gel's really thick. So the juice, aloe vera juice, or with distilled water. In this case, I'm just going to use water because my lab has lots of hair. So if I do something like coconut oil or something like that, if you are making sprays, I recommend doing more of a water base, because if not, unless they need that extra hydration, if not, they're going to feel really oily. And so that's just something to keep in mind. So aloe vera juice, or top it with water, and then you just literally put your top back on, mix it together, spray it right on them.
That's awesome.
It's that easy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're DIY queen, and you helped me pitch next week's event. DIY with my sister, AMY.
Oh, nice.
Right?
I love
like
Amy.
I really like that's fair. That's awesome. Okay, so here is our winner for tonight. Jasmine, I hope you're on, Jasmine. I just pulled up. So whenever you got, we don't just like select our favorite name. we use random.org. So based on the people who have hit that giveaway link, we put your info into random.org and then select that number entry. So Jasmine, I think you have sort of like a designco.com. So if there are more than one Jasmine here, we want to make sure we get you this. So all you have to do, Jasmine, is send us an email at bettertogetherlife@gmail.com, and we will send your prize winning to you. Just let us know your mailing address. So I hope you're on here, Jasmine, and you hear this and you send us an email so that we can follow up with you. So remember, if something in this has just hit a chord with you and you want to know more, we want to hook you up with Stephanie, and she has graciously given her time in the middle of her work week to share some really passionate things about oils with you, and help you connect a natural solution for the animals in your life, whether it be large or small.
Yes.
And if you guys have asked us about how we use oils with our rabbits or our chickens, we've shared a lot of that on our Instagram. So you can look there as well on some of our saved stuff about oils on my Instagram at Better Together Wife. So kind of like Better Together Life, but at Better Together Wife. And I think Bo has a few on there too. I don't know if you guys can see this guy. But Chippy's home and he's very happy and he's pushing up against my legs beneath me. But Stephanie, any closing thoughts? Because we want to make sure that, you just had so much good stuff that I wish we could have gotten to all of it. But I'm so thankful. Yes, Jason, Stephanie, Jason says, thank you for your time. Everybody said they had fun.
Good.
This is awesome.
I think my only closing thoughts would just be that it can seem intimidating for oils in general, can seem intimidating and overwhelming. And so you learn how to use them on the human species, but the same rules apply when you're using them on dogs, and pets in general, not just dogs, but pets in general. And so the same concepts, the same chemical components are there. You're using them in the same chemical component, what that lavender is good for as humans, it's also good for animals. It has that same chemical component there. So I would say, don't be scared. You guys. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Use the ones these are the ones to avoid. But other than that, you've got a good safety range. And I really tried to highlight the ones that are kind of in our top 10. So that way, if you do have oils, these are likely the ones that you have to start with at least. And so that's why hopefully some of that stuff that you can take away and be able to use it and feel equipped. Yeah. You don't have to go to the vet 4 or 5 times in 2 weeks and sit there feeling completely helpless as your dog is miserable being poked and prodded with all these things. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you because you can use the stuff that you already have, save yourself a lot of money, save yourself a lot of time, and be able to get your pets feeling and be proactive, just like we would in our health, be proactive. Yes. So be proactive with some of those things that you see and use your gut. You know when things are not right with your pets and with your animals. And so use your gut.
You're such a good, sound wisdom advice person because I get intimidated. Like you said, this is not my area of expertise. I don't know enough. But honestly, a lot of us don't know enough. And a lot of our vets are just doing their very best and they only see that symptom or they only see that situation. But we as informed animal owners can be much more aware about what's going on with our pets, the foods that they're eating, the exposure to chemicals that they have. And yes, we can use an essential oil. So hopefully we've given you some research or some resources to go back to either the screenshot that you took or the website that we connected you to. There's so much that if you've enjoyed these Monday nights at all, then share it. Tell your friends, come to Monday nights. Next week is going to be DIY. Stephanie shared with us incredible information on animals this week. Last week we had Kelly Couch talking to us about getting toxic products out of your house and what you can use instead. So every Monday, we don't care whose oils you use. We don't care what team you're on. Monday nights are for you, and we want to hear what's most important to you. So you can send us an email about that if there's a specific topic you want to hear, and we'll shout you out when it's time for that topic. But the most important thing we can do is just connect you to solutions. Mm-hmm. And then when we're looking at creating an atmosphere for you, we're going to bring you friends who are passionate about those topics. So I didn't tell Stephanie what to talk about. She just came up with it. And I think it was brilliant, and it was better than anything I could have brought to you. But we do believe it's better together because you guys are here. Our team for doTERRA is better together because of Stephanie. Our house, the place that we live on these 7 acres, is only possible because God brought Stephanie to our team. And I believe that he's given us this YouTube channel to continue that in a new, fresh way. So don't hesitate to, if you've been on the fence about oils or about a business, connect with us because we want to put you in the right seat. Chip's bringing me stuff. In the right seat on the bus when it comes to income and doTERRA or just using these essential oils. Mm-hmm. There's no question that's too small, but sometimes we hesitate to click that send button or reach out on Instagram because we just don't want to commit to something we're not ready for. Hopefully, you know, that's not how we do things. Everything is very low pressure, but high motivation. So if you're motivated, you know, I'm going out to the Bodder Homestead this weekend and I'm going to go teach an oils class with them because they're passionate about starting a business. And Stephanie and I have taught, I mean, it has to have been between the two of us over 100 classes to people in the Katy community because they were hungry for what we had, but we didn't know that until we started teaching these classes, right? So it's got to be that first step. And we just want to invite you to whatever that next step is for you, getting oils in your house so you have solutions, or starting a business, wherever you are on that. We have a space for you. We have a place for you. And we want to connect you to those right options for you. But it starts with a conversation. So thank you guys for being on tonight. I'm going to say it again. It's better together because you're here. Otherwise, Stephanie and I are just talking to each other, which we would love. But quite frankly, we would do that over wine in someone's living room, not over the internet. So we love being here with you guys. And thank you for making it fun in the comments. It's just us talking to each other on the internet. And that's weird for everyone, right? So we'll see you guys here next Monday. Join us in our Facebook groups. Join us on Instagram. We want to be connected with you, and we want to hear from you about what's important with you and essential oils. So thanks again tonight, guys. We appreciate you. Have a great evening and a wonderful rest of your week. We hope you made Mondays like your favorite day of the week. Have a good night, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Steph.